All right, I think we're all set. We're recording, we're live. This is our What's Up Wednesday live edition, and I can't think of a better core group to wrap up this school year with than the one that are joining us today. My team always makes us shine collectively, and I think these types of opportunities, I'm seeing some names across, even though I don't see everybody's faces. It's really good, especially now, to realize that we are all helping collaboratively in this together. And I really want you all to feel that from our team to yours. We have industry partners on the call today, and certainly some of our friends that have been with us since the beginning. Kim Saborik, my work wife, I see her. So this is going to be a great day in that we are going to try to make it just not us talking, but for those of you who don't know all of our faces, here's my team. We are, if we can lead by example, going to be having a staff happy hour later. So we encourage you, even vicariously, to join in. We encourage every type of way to connect to the human side of the business that we all do. And I have been blessed this year, as in previous years, to just have such a great team to work with. And we love that. On this call again today, we have industry, and we'll be going to our chef at the latter half of today. We are recording this for those of you who can't make it, or you know someone who is going to join and they're busy packing bags, which we know is happening all over the place as well. Today, we want to talk quickly through just make sure you have your checklists and you check them twice, like Santa. So the end of year closeout, there are some things that we've heard through our connections by being part of the state restart committee with Bridget Hires and the team at ODE, along with just kind of keep things on your radar as much as we want to be done with this year, and hope for a better trajectory on getting back into brick and mortar and normal life as we know it. We don't want you to miss out on opportunities to continue to fund the efforts you're doing now. And in doing so, also knowing, ending with the beginning in mind. We have some really great examples of how we're using KPI data to try to churn up some of that information so you can, be more informed and or inform those folks that you are reporting to in your districts, and certainly your Board of Ed and community, about all of the impacts that this year has had on us. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We always will leave you with some resources, and that is going to be prior to, at the beginning of all of this, we talked about having a COVID action plan. And now you're going to hear us transition out of using the C word into what we're calling integrity. And the integrity plan is really just something that we always have done. But in this year, it's looked a little different. So we want to make sure that the integrity points that will ensure your program's compliance and continued funding are front of center, right on your checklist as you end the year and begin a new calendar year, but still into the second semester. And then we were able to have a brief snippet into the kitchen of Chef Josh, and I'm super pumped to sit and learn with you today. I think one of the things that humbly our team always recognizes is that we're students of life in this process called school nutrition. And our goal is to really continue to innovate menus and excite you with recipes that are turnkey, easy solutions. So we have with us today a corporate chef that's going to demo some easy pantry solutions to some well-known commodities, in hopes that we can all have great conversations about how to make our menus more dynamic and certainly kid focused and accepted in the coming school year. We've had some great conversations. So these are just some really keep on the radar points before I hand it over to my talented team. We had spoken before in previous webinars, the importance of making sure you're checking on your CURS splash page. And the reason is they are going to be announcing via a survey for the round of CARES Act funding. We were able to learn the reason this is taking some time. I know we said it was going to happen last month, and it still isn't here, and it's almost the end of December, is because this money is not funneled through the USDA. It's actually funneled through the Ohio Department of Education. So Bridget Hires reported to our restart committee that there are some additional checkpoints. But again, the reality is this: the application will come on the CURS splash page every district, regardless of your financial need, will have an opportunity to apply for funds, and those funds are going to be fair shared out based on those people that apply for them. Again, so I think just call to action, look at your splash page, look at the application. As a highlight, we've talked through specific instances of additional expenses, namely PPE, ongoing PPE, any plexiglass or facilities enhancements you've made to help direct children and keep your staff and your children safe in your cafeterias. And even some creative ways to think about perhaps how your building budgets have been affected through having to utilize transportation. You know, the question was put out to Bridget, if you're using bus drivers to deliver meals, would that be in some way a way you can receive additional funding if your 006 fund is being charged with, let's say, a bus driving salary or even gas for the bus? So think very creatively, and remember, you can't win the lottery unless you play. So fill out the darn application, and if you need help, call us, because I think the money is going to be fair shared, and all of us need a little pick me up, I'm sure, if we're looking at the KPIs. PEBT, you know, that came about, and that acronym is obviously the additional funds being placed on the SNAP cards, the benefit cards for food stamps for those families that have traditionally been able to receive those benefits. Our role, again, just as a reminder, is we have the ability to run, with oftentimes the support of our EMIS coordinators, a report that will marry all of the directly certified and applications where finances and or other programs would qualify a family to receive free and reduced meals. They would be, in essence, eligible for this fund. What's new now is that another round is being issued. Again, Bridget Hires was able to clarify those people from the school year 1920 that qualified and were on a list for free and reduced, along with your lists from this year, which makes it very important to think about newly enrolled students, including kindergartners and their families, as well as just running direct certs again and again. I think it's fallen off our priority list because we're able to claim under the SSO or SFSP, but for virtue of this second round of funding, the EMIS coordinator will need your help to ensure every family counts. What will happen is a retroactive daily benefit from the beginning of this school year. So again, just another imperative way to illustrate how important, really, and essential our nutrition programs are to the health and nutrition of our community, beyond just the meals we're packing up, but also making sure this is as up to date as possible. Again, if you need help, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Just a couple of dates on our calendar as we round out, besides happy hour, which if you haven't, make your happy hour appointments with your staff now, would be the Acosta Food Show. We will be attending on the 17th. I think, like today, you know, most of our industry folks have gotten very savvy with what they're calling a show and sell. And so we've been working closely with not only our manufacturer and broker community, but certainly our partners and dear friends at Gordon Food Service. Thanks to Kathy Zucchelli and Jeff Owens for always being on the call with us. And as we look to see what's being distributed in Imperial and what our bid prices are, thank you, Christine Sullivan, for always joining in. If you don't know, those are our resources. I'm sure you all are well aware of our ability to help support, but also your ability to directly reach out with questions about food options and procurement options. One last thing that I'll say before I pass it on is there is a second call for a reallocation for single bank dollars to the Department of Defense. Many of you have been really working towards offering fresh produce in your curbside bags. And so certainly if you feel that this would benefit and you'd be able to allocate funds and continue to do that, you know, Pasonic is always going to ask you to add some extra fresh to your program. And this is one way to do it financially. So I'm going to be quiet, which is different for me, and hand it over to somebody who it really lives and breathes this. And, you know, I think, you know, Kim's probably happy I'm not picking on her to talk about KPI. Back when I was was a food service director full-time, we would spend days just crunching numbers and having critical conversations. But today I'm going to let our operational expert, Tina Hastings, who is doing this for multiple school districts and had a unique, really communication sent to her from her treasurer. So again, the idea here is that I think our administrators are understanding the pandemic has had some wide-reaching effects, and they're wanting to, understand that better. So Tina, I'll pass it to you. Tina, you got to unmute yourself, sweets.
Sorry about that. So we've called you all to action. Look your KPI, know your numbers. How many times have you heard us say this over and over again? Know your numbers. Very important reason why we do this. I'm going to show you a couple examples of different schools that we've looked at. School A is a school district that is just kind of middle of the road. They run about 40% free and reduced on a normal basis. 1,900 students are enrolled. Last year, in October, they took our federal funding was $65,000 and we served not quite 30,000 meals. So this year, because of SSO, they were able to, when we got our federal funding in October, was 78,000. Served less meals, 25,000. They do both breakfast and lunch in this district, and it looks good. Here, this is a district that, that helped a little bit, getting that $3.53 for every meal versus the 37 for our full priced kids. Next district that we looked at was School B, and this district is about 3,200 students. They run about 80%, participation on a normal basis. This is a CEP school. So you'll see here, last year they got $240,000 and served over 87,000 meals in the month of October. This year, unfortunately, only about 61,000 and are serving 18,000 meals. Here's where that CEP, who relies on that money, they rely to have that participation there every single day, and they're taking a big hit. The next district we looked at was a district that's kind of on the high end. They deal mainly with full price participation. They run about 9-10% free and reduced. Their district runs about 3,800 students. Last year, they were collecting 27,000 for their federal reimbursement with 31,000 participation. This year, they got $91,000 that came into them for only 25,000 being served. Now, it looks great, looks fine and dandy, but the thing is, here's a district that does rely on them full price kids. Well, now with everybody being free, you go into your revenue and these students aren't coming in and able to purchase a la carte items on a regular basis. They're not able to come in and because they are a district that does classroom feeding. So it makes it harder to be able, they have to think outside the box, try and figure out different ways to get that revenue coming in. So as much as some of these districts are really hurting, some are staying kind of right in the center, some are getting a lot more money in, but when it's all said and done, you still have to look at that revenue because the parents aren't putting the money on the kids' accounts that we're used to. So that's just one of the numbers is, as you're looking through your KPI to try and be aware of. So I will pass this on to Sarah. I think she's next.
Thank you, Tina. Yeah, and I guess our goal was just to really highlight these three districts' finances look completely different, right? So it just is a call to action to really understand. And, certainly I think many of us are also up against some decision making if we're being asked what we're going to do in the spring if we continue in a remote pattern. So if you need help, please reach out to us. I think we are, we know by nature of just experience that it needs to be a little bit of a black and white conversation versus a guesstimate. And so we will do everything in our power to help you understand your budget reports and your projections so that you can make informed decisions and really planning. I think many of us look at meals per labor hour. This was just a financial KPI, but I think many of us right now are looking at what should a meals per labor hour look like. And what Pasonic Partners is going to do over our winter break is really do a case study from all of our 30 school districts to help you perhaps have a better answer. What does a meals per labor hour look like during a 100% curbside food delivery, or a hybrid model, or, half and half, which many of us, it's not, gone are the days of just using 18 to 24 meals per labor hour and planning that way. And so we want to be able to keep pivoting and moving our knowledge about how to interpret KPIs, so we can put that information in your hands and you can share them with the powers that be. So I'm going to pass it to Sarah for integrity.
All right. So as Maureen mentioned, we are moving away from the C word. I'm hoping that we don't have to keep saying that in 2021. And so your integrity plan is looking at your program for compliance. So even though there are no pesky administrative reviews or procurement reviews or comprehensive resource management reviews this year, we still want to make sure that you're running a compliant program, because next year there will be reviews, most likely, and you will be held responsible and accountable for what was done this year. So when we're looking at feeding, just some things we want you to think about as you are putting meals out for the students. Not only is it important to get food in their hands, but what are we sending out to them and how are we doing it? So making sure, most importantly, that we're still only doing 1 meal per student. This gets really tricky when you shut off your point of sale and start doing a tally sheet or a clicker. It certainly does make things easier as far as getting the kids through the line, getting bags out to the curbside, but it does make it a little easier to get more than 1 meal per student, particularly during your hybrid. So I know that I've run into this myself in some of the districts that I work with. When the district was hybrid, we had parents signing up for 5-week bags and the kiddo was hybrid and in school 2 days a week. So, and they were eating on site those 2 days a week. So then technically those students would have been getting 2 meals they shouldn't have. So just trying to keep track of that. That hybrid model really does complicate things a bit and just requires us a little bit more work on the back end, just to make sure, again, that we're only providing compliant meals to the kids and 1 per student per day. And then just obviously continue to keep requesting those free and reduced applications, because to Maureen's point, the PEBT card is for those kids that come not just from SNAP, so from your direct cert matches, but from the kids that qualify for free and reduced due to income. So that's really important that we keep that information up to date. As far as excess of inventory, I know this has been kind of an issue since the beginning of all of this. It's very, very hard to guess, what is going on in a blink of an eye. I mean, out of school, all the kids were in 5 days a week, and by Thursday we were hybrid. So that kind of messed things up. And then by the following Monday, we were completely remote. So that really changed how we were feeding. And then we found, okay, we thought we were going to be feeding 600 kids a day. We're no longer feeding 600 kids a day. Now we're feeding 250 kids a day through virtual meals. Now we have all of this inventory. What do we do with it? So just so that you're all aware, again, we are going to be held accountable and responsible for what we are doing. You cannot simply just give food away that you have purchased with your 006 money. That food needs to go out to the kids and it needs to be claimed in some sort of way. That is the cycle that the USDA does with giving the money, through federal reimbursement for us to buy the food, and then we're supposed to give it to the students. So just something to think about there. If you do have a very large amount of food that is sitting that is going to go bad, there are actually forms available on KERS that you can do a donation. I've done this in districts before where we've given food to the local food bank or a local women's shelter, because obviously they don't want the food to go to waste, but there has to be some tracking and tracing of what's going on with that. Because then the question becomes, yes, you can kind of right now explain away, all the kids were on site and then we went remote. Now we have all of this food, but it does come into some question like, well, did you intentionally order extra food so that you could send it home? Those sorts of things. We just don't even want to have to worry about being asked that. So just make sure that if you're going to do any food donations, that you do fill out those forms and send them back in to ODE for approval before you do so. And even better, consider going in and updating your application on KERS and doing holiday or weekend bags. That's a great way for you to be able to give that extra food out to the families that really need it. And then you'll also get reimbursed. So there's not a huge loss, because you also have to think about that. You've purchased all that food and now you're going to get 0 reimbursement back for that. So we just want to make sure that you're being cognizant and we're doing the best that we can to continue to support our 006 this year. And then just some general audit pieces. You still have to do production records. They have to be accurate and they have to be complete.
Because there was something going on. So
think about that as you are going through your day. And even if you are serving bulk meals, you still have to be able to come up with some sort of production record. If you have any questions, again, feel free to reach out to any of us. We've all worked with districts to complete these and create them. So we can definitely help you with that. Continue to think about mask maintenance. I don't think masks are going anywhere in the near future. We're going to have to keep wearing them into 2021. I'm so sorry. The ball dropping in New York at midnight on New Year's Eve is not going to mean masks go away. So we're going to keep that rolling in January. So just making sure we're wearing them correctly still. I know we're all over it. I get it. I agree. I cannot wait to wear lipstick again. I really miss those days. And just proper cleaning and storage of those, making sure that if they are reusable, that they are getting laundered daily. And that if you are taking them off to have a break or drink or eat, that they are getting stored either in a plastic bag or a paper bag, that they're not just kind of getting left all over the place. Again, we want to keep the germs away from surfaces, and we also don't want any germs to get on them that weren't already there. Social distancing, again, something else, I'm sorry, we're going to have to continue to carry that into January, making sure that it can be maintained. I know sometimes the building kitchens are really small and there's lots of ladies in one space doing a lot of work, but whenever you can, please try to keep that 6 feet distance. It is very important for your health and safety. And even during break times, I'm still seeing a little too much closeness. I think everybody has to remember, even though we all work together and are normally friends and want to sit and eat together, we just have to be a little conscientious of that when we're coming into the kitchens, we are all bringing our bubbles into the kitchen together, and then all of those bubbles start overlapping when we're not being socially distanced. And then those small groups become very large groups when you bring in your bubble. And then we just don't want to wipe out an entire kitchen and then not be able to serve food out of there. So again, I know it's hard to stay away, especially during the holidays and wanting to do fun things, but we just still need to keep our distance to stay safe. And then my last little thing is just menu compliance. Making sure that we're still meeting standards. You still have to serve, 51% whole grain enriched foods. We still need to do vegetable subgroups if you're doing SSO. Making sure that you're doing, the full fruit at breakfast if you're sending virtual bags home. So just some things, I'm sorry, but if you're doing SSO, yes, beans do have to go home every week. I know that's no kid's favorite, but we are still, charged with providing those to the kids through the USDA. And then the vegetable subgroups are probably the big one. And I know it's really hard to figure out how to send those home. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to any one of us, and we would be happy to give you some ideas or share with you what some schools are doing that have been effective that we've worked with or that we just know of. If you have any suggestions of things the kids have really liked and you want to let us know that we can share that out, we would love that as well. Maybe you have a great bean recipe that we would all like to send out to our kids as well. So those are just a couple of compliance pieces as we're ending the year, just so we can go into 21 ready to go and making sure that we have all of our T's crossed and I's dotted. So I will pass it to Lauren. She's going to share fun stuff, some caught doing something good in some of our schools.
All right, so we know that we could certainly fill an entire presentation with all of the caught doing something good stories that we've either heard of or witnessed ourselves or gotten to be a part of.
It's just like all of a sudden.
And we wanted to highlight a couple schools today. We know that all of you guys have been doing some really incredible work out there, making sure that all the kids in your communities stay fed, especially going into the holiday season. The first school we want to highlight is Independent City Schools. So for those of you that aren't familiar, Independence is traditionally a pretty affluent school district. Their free and reduced price percentage is pretty low, but they've actually noticed kind of a shift this year. So the ladies in this district really want to make sure that the families that needed food got food. So they were able to prepare some bags and ensure that the families that really needed some additional assistance were able to receive that, especially going into the Thanksgiving break. So they really have kind of recognized that, the gaps that we traditionally see on the weekends and during holiday meals, those are now prevalent in their community, and they really want to make sure they're supporting their community in whatever way that they could. And the next school district we wanted to highlight is Tina's school district. So we'll give her a shout out as well, because she made this happen, obviously with the support of the wonderful staff out there. So Pasonic Partners was approached by the American Dairy Association to try out 6 different dairy recipes, a couple of breakfast items and different lunch entrees as well. So we each kind of split them up and we got to sample them in some different schools. And Woodridge probably had one of the more challenging recipes. It was a Mediterranean parfait with the little falafel balls or falafel tots. And their staff absolutely knocked it out of the park. You can see like just the pride and the excitement that they had and the fun that they were able to maintain in their kitchen. Shout out to Jess Stone, who has every knickknack possible in her kitchen, including a little cow to feature on the dairy theme day. So they were able to do their little parfait. And then they also did a pizza shaker salad as well, and have been getting some really positive feedback from the families in their community too. So that's just one example of a district that's still been able to kind of keep that fun spirit alive. That is really the best part of this job, and getting to work in kitchens and be creative. So I think we can all kind of use that inspiration and kind of bring that back with us coming into 2021. So I am excited. I will actually pass it over to our chef. We have a live chef who's going to be demoing some recipes, as Maureen alluded to. We also have the Land O'Lakes K-12 sales rep on the call, Tammy, as well. This is their contact information for you guys, and they can kind of share some more info as well. But we are really excited to see this. Again, kind of keeping that fun spirit alive in these kitchens and that creativity that we all love. So yeah, unless the team has anything else to add, I think we'll turn it over to our chef.
Yeah, I think, I just want to thank my team again. We wanted to be quick, so we give more time to the chef. So I'm going to just thank, my team, but also think forward. We are still going to always be that little voice in the back of your head about trying new recipes and try days. And so thank you to Jan Diamond, who's also on this call, and certainly our expert frontline staff that, to Lauren's point, I think the biggest thing and excitement that we bring today with this chef demo is the parts of the job we miss, which is the fun stuff. So without further ado, I'm going to stop sharing the slides and make our chef the spotlight, but I will let Tammy Johnson, who is our K-12 sales manager for the state of Ohio, introduce herself and her chef. For those of you who obviously know near and dear to me as Holly McGarry, another colleague in the industry whom I just adore, and thanks to her, she connected us with some great resources for you today. So I'll hand it to you, Tam.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys very much. I just want to say that, first of all, Chef and I are super excited. Well, he's going to be the star of the show. Super excited to go over some new concepts for you, some tips and tricks on using our products and ideas in these crazy hybrid virtual times. So, and Holly, she is a star as well. I love Holly. So Chef Josh has been with Land O'Lakes for, I'm not even sure how many years yet, Josh? Or?
2, a little over 2.
Wow.
I know it seems like longer. Working with me, I guess, right?
He has been, he has over 20 years of culinary experience. He's a certified executive chef, a certified culinary administrator, and a ServSafe certified instructor. You saw our contact info. We'll put it up at the end. So please feel free to reach out to us at the end if you have specific questions, or even in the chat box while he's presenting. If you have questions, please let us know. And Holly and I will watch the chat box and try to answer them as quickly as we can. So Josh,
excellent. All right. Well, first of all, I'm really excited to be a part of this today. So thank you very much for inviting us. These are always a lot of fun to do, and I love getting out there and traveling and meeting people and everything else. And this is the best way to do it so far. So any excuse to be able to come up with some ideas and some recipes is really a good thing. It's a little awkward being by myself in my home kitchen, staring at a camera with no one looking except my dog wondering what's happening. But anyways, this is going to be some fun today. But I want to start off by saying, what I'm showing here today are really, there's recipes available for all this stuff. However, this is really kind of a conceptual type of thing. What we're showing today, I want you to realize that, I understand that everybody's scenario is different, right? Everybody is doing different things. And I love hearing some of the success stories that districts are doing and seeing on Instagram and Facebook what everyone's doing. I love this segment because of it. I mean, it's such a challenging, lot of headwinds. And I know I hate all those cliche words, but it's true. And when I see pictures like that, it's just really inspiring. So what I'm showing you today is some conceptual stuff. to hopefully help with that. But again, I know your scenarios are different. So just know that if you like something you see here, but it might not quite work due to social distancing or staffing or whatever the case, reach out to us. We're happy to rewrite these or rework with these to fit your specific scenario. But really, it's just about having fun and utilizing your pantry. So everything we're doing today, just know that ingredients can be switched out very easily and go from there. But what we're going to focus on is how can we get meals home, right? How can we send meals home safely? And that's going to be good when you get home. So that's what we're going to go into. I'm going to stop Bobbin and just go into it. I want to be respectful of everyone's time. But what we're going to do is we're going to start off with mac and cheese first, okay? Because mac and cheese, we got a lot of calls at the beginning of this asking how can we do mac and cheese to send home. So we did a lot of different testing with it, and we found it's really successful item to send home. And there's different ways that you can prep it in order to do it. So I'm going to kind of go over that. Basically, if you're not familiar, our mac and cheese, we have a lot of different kinds, right? So depending on the type of pasta you want, as far as whole grain or white or different fat levels, different sodium contents, whatever, we have a mac and cheese for that. They come in 6 5-pound bags, okay? And basically, they're frozen. You take them, you thaw them out overnight in the refrigerator, and then typically they then go into a steamer, boil in the bag to heat up to 165 and service. Sometimes they go on the stovetop to be heated up, and then they're served on the line. But obviously, with everything going on, it doesn't quite really work like that. So we developed a cold prep method, and I kind of want to go over that with you today a little bit and show you some of the stuff that we have in our findings. So here is basically just a 1 pack of mac and cheese. I thawed it overnight, and I just put it right into this 2-inch half pan. Okay, so it's just cold mac and cheese right out of the refrigerator, and that's it. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to just cold prep this. Okay, so really simple. This is almost as easy as just putting a hot dog on a bun, right? So basically, I'm just going to just scoop my portion. And I'm using a microwave safe container, okay? Now you can do ovenable containers if you'd like. Microwave works really, really well for this. And the difference is this: I tested a couple other mac and cheese. And if you ever worked with our mac and cheese, we have kind of a double wall pasta in here, and our sauce doesn't absorb as much into it. So what that means is that this can be abused more, if you will. So for example, if you ever had mac and cheese on a line and it ends up getting gummy because you stir it or whatever, loses moisture and you stir it, it ends up being like a kind of like an orange oatmeal. Ours is not going to have that effect as much. So, and because of that, we're able to, I mean, I don't want to say abuse it more, but that's generally what we can do with it. So here I have is just the mac and cheese cold, like I mentioned, okay? And got a little messy there, but you're going to see a lot of mess today, I'm sure. And now what I can do with this is I can just put a lid on it and I can send it home. Okay. Now we have microwave instructions that we can send you, and you just print them on a label and stick them on. Basically, it's just microwave on high for 2 to 3 minutes. We have them both in English and Spanish if you're interested, but really simple. Just put a lid on, send it home, microwave instructions right on the top or right on the side or whatever you want to do. And there you go. Okay, really simple and really easy to do. Fast prep, send home, and mac and cheese is one of those nice staple items. Now, what's also really great with this is that we froze this. So we cold prepped it just like we did now, covered it, stuck it in the freezer and froze it. I tested it for 3 days frozen, took it out, thawed it out, and once it was thawed again, microwaved it for the same amount of time, and it turned out great. Okay, so these are really nice. You can end up prepping these at the beginning of the week, send them home with directions on how to heat them up, or thaw them out in your facility, then send them home, or however you want to do it. But what's great about this is that it's cold prepped. I haven't heated this up at all, refrigerated, and send home microwave. Really, really nice and simple and easy to do. So that's really what this has been doing a lot of great things for a lot of people right now, especially on those days. I mean, those parfaits you guys are doing, I mean, that's awesome. But if you need a relax on a couple days, this is a really way to do it. Now, mac and cheese, of course, is a staple. You all know that it's kind of up there with pizzas and tacos and burgers and things like that. But specialty mac and cheeses, we're really seeing an increase. Like that's where the trend is going, if you will. You almost can't go to a restaurant now. Well, you can't go really to a restaurant right now, but you almost can't look at a restaurant menu, I'll put it that way, and see without seeing a specialty mac and cheese somewhere. And that's really what we're seeing on trend. So really simple. I'm just going to show you 4 mac and cheeses, really, really simple. And what's great about this is how I'm prepping this, the same microwave instructions. Okay. So we're not messing with that at all. Okay. So just for example, we got mac and cheese here. I have my 1 meat alternate with there. I'm adding my 2nd meat alternate. I'm just adding some diced chicken on top. Okay. Really simple. I'm going to add a little bit of corn and some black beans. And I am going to then put a little taco seasoning maybe on it. Okay, so I guess Southwest mac and cheese, really, really simple. I can put some more dice, some shredded cheddar on there if I'd like. Serve with a side of crushed taco shells or tortilla strips or chips or anything else like that. But again, what's great is that I can use the same microwave instructions because it all heats up together really, really well. I've also tested this where I froze it and thawed it and sent it home, and it worked out really, really well. Okay, so really nice and simple and easy to do for that. And it's a fun one. Now, a few ingredients in there, but what's nice about this mac and cheese is you can use anything with it, right? I mean, mac and cheese is one of those things that really good way to clear the pan. Anything in mac and cheese is going to be good, right? This is just a really simple one here, but I had some extra meatballs, so I'm adding my 2nd meat alternate with meatballs, a little barbecue sauce on top or on the side or however you want to do it, and I have a barbecue meatball mac and cheese. Obviously, you could take the ultimate white sauce and make a fun, Swedish meatball thing with it on top of the mac and cheese, but really, really simple and easy to work with. Again, frozen, thawed, microwaved, works great. Okay. One of our favorite ones, especially in the high school level, is a buffalo chicken mac and cheese. And this is actually one that you will start seeing a lot, as well as a lot of chains are starting to put this on the menu as well. Just the chicken, buffalo sauce, really, really simple. What I like to do with this is serve it with a side of diced celery. That crunch actually really works really well. Some celery sticks. Full disclosure, my celery I cut last night ended up in the freezer. And yeah, so that's that. I guess I didn't have to admit that, did I? Okay, so the 4th one, just real simple. And the reason I keep showing this one, you might have seen it before, is because this one always wins with student favorites. And I really, really like this one. But it's a cheeseburger mac and cheese. A couple different methods you can do with it. You can cook onions with hamburger and put it on top or anything like that. Beef crumbles is something I've heard that's in a lot of people's pantry right now and looking for ways to use it. So I just have some beef crumbles, turkey crumbles, whatever you want to do. And there, it's really that simple. It's a cheeseburger mac and cheese. You can add onions to, you can add whatever you like to that. I like to send this with a side of diced pickles. I know it seems weird, but I'll tell you what, when this is hot and you put pickles on top, they microwave too, that crunch and the acidity of these really works really cool. And the fun thing about that is a lot of students really, think it's cool, especially the younger kids. They get a pickle with their mac and cheese. And I'm telling you, it's really good. Tammy can attest to you. It's weird right away. Now, depending on the pickle, I'm a dill pickle person. I don't know, I don't want to start any wars there, but our recipe online says sweet pickle or butter pickle. I like the dill, but that's just me, I guess. So that's mac and cheese. Again, it's super, super simple. And the reason I wanted to show it right now is because it's one of the easiest things that we can do to send home. It's as easy as putting together a burger or anything like that. You can portion it cold, send it home with microwave instructions. And we have those instructions for you. And again, if you have items in your pantry that you're looking to utilize, you can send us that list too. We're happy to write recipes specifically for you and what you need to do. So if you say, hey, I got all this corn, I don't know what to do with it, send it to us. I'll send you a bunch of corn recipes, whatever you need. Okay, we want to make sure that you're partnering with Land O'Lakes. We want to be that partner with you. Okay, so that's mac and cheese. Now I'm going to get into our cheese sauces. Okay, so this was another one when some people kind of came up and said, okay, we love your cheese sauce, but how do we use it now, right? And obviously, I can do this, so I'd rather look at the cutting board than me, I suppose. How can you use this now in this situation? And of course, our cheese sauces, you can portion them out, you know, very simple and easy. Is this cheese sauce portioned out, able to be sent home. Now we also have heating instructions and portioning instructions on how to send home 3 ounces of cheese sauce. Same microwave instructions, ovenable, however you want to do it. I like to serve it refrigerated, especially with like a pretzel or something like that. I just like the texture, I guess. It's a kind of a nostalgia thing for me. But how else can we use this to send home? And one of the main reasons a lot of people use our cheese sauce is because they were using it for an Alfredo sauce, and it works great plain as an Alfredo sauce, and but a lot of people were using our Alfredo sauce recipe. And if you're familiar with the Alfredo sauce recipe, it's 2 ingredients. It's garlic and Parmesan cheese, grated Parmesan, and it's stirred in and melted in, and it's fantastic. The smell, everything looks. I used to have an Italian restaurant, and it's still that Alfredo sauce with those 2 ingredients is fantastic. But again, a lot of people utilize it just plain, right? And it works great as that. But they wanted to say, okay, we want to get that same flavor profile. How do we do that? But we don't have the labor, we don't have the time to be able to stir anything in and do all that stuff. So we came up with some fun ideas, and again, way to utilize the pantry in a way as well. So, all right, I had to get the pour in there. You know, it's part of my contract, I think. Okay, so we're talking about Alfredo sauces. So again, just plain works great, just like that. Okay. And what's great about this is we've also tested this. These are in ovenable containers here. Microwave containers work great as well. We've tested this where it was cooled down or cold prepped, sent home and reheated. And depending on the pasta you use, it works fantastic. So then this is something that just like this Alfredo, I can put a lid on this, ovenable instructions, send it home, throw it in the oven, and it's done. Okay. Or I could freeze this. If it's covered in the sauce, I can freeze this. Now, we don't suggest freezing the pouches, but when it's in a recipe and kind of portioned out like this, it does work really, really well. So this can be frozen, sent home, thawed, ovened, easy, done. Baked fettuccine, baked Alfredo, whatever you want to call it. But they're like, what do we want to use that same recipe, but we don't have the labor to do it. So we came up with this shaker. So basically just shaker. We all have pantry seasonings and things like that we can utilize. So basically all I'm doing is I'm just adding my grated Parmesan to this, some garlic powder, and I just have some basil leaves that I'm just going to add just because, give it some nice color, and shake it up. Now I have my Alfredos just like this, and you just shake it right on top. Now I can already smell that garlic and cheese really going with it. And it might have trouble with the lighting to see, but it's great. It's really simple and easy. And even some of the school districts that were making it are going to switch to this even after all this is over. But what's great about this is prep it all up. Here's a taco seasoning, same taco seasoning I use for the mac and cheese. Now I have a taco Alfredo. If I wanted to do a lemon pepper, that would be great. Here is a Cajun seasoning for Cajun Alfredo. Now look into your pantry and see all the stuff that you might have in that pantry, and now it's all different forms of pasta. So again, really, really simple and easy to do with this. It can be frozen, it can be sent home, easy peasy, and it's a lot of fun. Plus, another great way to add some of your pantry. You can do chicken, you can do corn, you can do almost anything you want with it. So that's that. I want to be respectful on time, so I'm just going to kind of go through a few of these real quick here. All right. Nachos, another really easy one to kind of fun one to send home. You can do the sauce on the side, send it home, or however you want to do, but a great way to utilize the recipe. Again, I have an ovenable container. I have my chips, and I'm going to do an Italian nacho, because I had some extra stuff in my pantry. And again, that's kind of what it's all about. But really, this is kind of a fun one because you can do whatever you want with this, and you can have some fun in the kitchen playing around. So I have my white cheese sauce plain, chips, got some diced red pepper, diced green pepper, some white beans from my legume. You know, this is kind of a Christmas theme one. I should have called it the Christmas nacho. All right, now I can do chicken, or I can do whatever you want. I'm gonna do pepperoni. And you know, I know kids might not love black olives, but I'm gonna eat this later, so I'm gonna do some black olives, and I'll probably throw some banana peppers on it too. But again, really, really simple and easy to do for nachos. Put it in the oven, send it home. Really, really easy to do with that. Okay. All right. On the theme of white sauce, let's go, because this one here is one of my favorite ones to show. We just kind of came up with because it shows you tons of different ways to utilize not only your pantry, but different applications with the same ingredients. So really, really fun here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is we're going to end up with a Raging Cajun soup. Okay, let's call it. I think that's what we just put it on the website as Raging Cajun soup. So what I have here, and I'm just doing for little servings. The full servings are on our website. But I have about 1.5 cups of diced chicken. Okay, 2/3 cup onion, 2/3 cup green pepper. I'm going to have some Cajun seasoning, non-sodium Cajun seasoning. I have a 1/2 teaspoon there. Excuse me. And what I'm going to do here is I'm adding our white cheese sauce, our ultimate white cheese sauce, 1 3/4 cup. This is right from the shelf. Okay. I took it right from the shelf. Didn't heat this, didn't do anything with this yet. And I'm going right in here. Now, what's great about our cheese sauces, and what some people don't realize, is that we can utilize this right from the shelf or refrigerated cold. Okay. This does not have to be heated hot. We froze, didn't we? Did we freeze?
Yeah, I think so, Josh.
Okay.
Oh, now you're back.
I see you now.
Let's try again. Let's try again. Okay. Thank you for that. New camera. I don't know if I have the power in the computer for it. Now, what people don't realize is you can eat this cold. Okay. Now, what a lot of people, so like I can use this instead of mayonnaise, if you will. So for pasta salads and things like that. So it works great in pasta salads, works great in chicken salads. And if you think about, we eat cheese cold all the time, right? So this is really no different. And it's a great way to be able to add a vegetarian option to get your meat alternates. Okay. So right now, that's all I added. I dumped and went. Okay. Now I could dump anything in here I wanted to. I could have done corn and black beans. I could have done, you know, whatever I wanted, whatever meat I wanted, whatever ingredients and seasonings or whatever else I wanted to do. So if there's like a flavor profile that works really well in your district, dump and go. Really, really simple. So now what I did here was a couple things. One, we're making a soup, but I could take this just like this, put it in the refrigerator, serve it as chicken salad. Done. I add more chicken to it if I want to, or whatever I want. It's a chicken salad. It's a great chicken salad too. It really tastes fantastic. So that's one application with this. The second one, if I want to, I put it on top of my brown rice. Okay. And now I have a Raging Cajun rice bowl. Okay. So chicken salad, rice bowl, same thing. This goes on a lid. This goes home, 2 to 3 minutes in the microwave, and it's done. Okay. This has been frozen and tested. It works great. Once it's refrigerated and then put in the microwave, now I have a bowl, Raging Cajun rice bowl. Okay. Chicken salad, rice bowl. But like I said, we're making soup. So I took a little bit out of there. Ratios might be a little off. All I'm going to do now is add my chicken broth, vegetable broth, whatever you want to do, of course, and mix this in. And now I have soup. So now think about this. This is a Cajun one. Let's say I had chicken, black beans, corn, some taco seasonings, and I had a Southwest rice bowl, Southwest chicken salad, and then, or I can do a simple Southwest soup or chicken tortilla soup or whatever you want to do. So I show this only because the concept of here's one thing that I just dumped and went, and I have 3 completely different applications for. And once this heats up, it turns more into that soup consistency. Okay, so really, really fun and easy. And again, utilize as much ingredients as you can if you want with that. Okay, I'm just gonna go through. This is gonna be magic TV type of thing. Okay, so as I mentioned, we can eat the sauce cold. I think I talked too much, Tammy. Okay, so right from the shelf again. Okay, now again, I would use this as mayo. Once you put it in a recipe, it gets refrigerated, right? Same kind of deal here. And I'm just going to make a quick wrap with this. Fresh vegetable wrap. Got some green pepper, some red pepper, some shredded carrots. And I am going to hopefully not make a fool out of myself wrapping this tortilla in front of people. Been using these for a little while, freezing them. And now I have a vegetable wrap with that cheese sauce as my mayo, if you will, or sauce. I guess I should just call it sauce. And it's great. Now I would call it a vegetable queso, queso wrap or whatever you want to do, because having the cheese in here is going to make this more appealing to a lot of people. This can also be wrapped and put into a warmer and sent once you're ready to do something like that in the future. So again, cold works really, really well. All right. Moving on, I want to show you one of my new favorite recipes with Land O'Lakes. And it's a pimento cheese. Okay. Now I want to start by saying now pimento cheese, it's kind of been a regional staple for a while. However, again, we can add whatever we want to this. So think of it more as like a cheese dip or a cheese ball or whatever. But the reason I want to show pimento is show how easy it is to make, but also because this is one item that we're kind of noticing on trend. Costco's doing a great job, been promoting it and selling it. There's also Chick-fil-A is testing this with testing a pimento chicken sandwich in some markets to go national. So this is going to be Panera Bread's been looking at one wrap. So this is going to be something that if not now, in the future. So I just want to kind of show you, but in the meantime, we could do this with any different flavors that you want to do, and a great way to use shreds. So here I have some shredded. I have some, I'm using a quart of shreds for this. Again, the main recipe is online. The recipe online says use a food processor. I like to skip that step. I don't really think it needs it. And we don't really have the luxury of labor and everything else with that. From there, I'm using pimentos, diced peppers work. Now you could do, if this isn't up your alley, of course, corn, black bean, whatever you want to add to this. You think of it as a cheese dip and you're good to go there. I'm going to add a little onion powder and some hot sauce. But again, this is just kind of inspire you with ideas. It's all dump and go, okay? And I'm just going to stir it up. And now I have a great pimento dip. And I'm telling you, as simple as this is, I used to make this from scratch in restaurant days. And I was shocked to see how simple this is. And it works great. And I'll tell you what, this tastes good. This is one that I always keep along with the nachos afterwards. And this stays in my fridge, and this is what I end up eating. Great cheese dip, okay? What I love about this, now, and the other reason I wanted to show you this is because of the applications. Of course, with pita or something like that, works great just on its own in a bento box. Really, really simple, okay? But what's even more popular is things like wraps and burgers. So again, now think about your pantry and what you have that could go into a fun cheese dip. Burger or cheese dip. I'm making a little bit of mess, right? And I have a pimento cheeseburger, okay? Really easy. Cheese dip, whatever you want to call it. Again, the cheese sauce, the yellow cheese sauce with the shreds really make a fantastic, fun, easy, something different. Easily be wrapped up, put in a warmer. And not to spend too much time on pimento, but I gotta make my lunch today too. We're just gonna show it in a Southwest wrap. Since I didn't mess up the first wrap too much, I'm gonna take my chances. Black beans, corn, and our Southwest wrap. Really nice, really easy. And again, could be served hot, cold, whatever you want. And it looks awesome. And it tastes great. I'm telling you what, playing around with this. Now, if you have like the idea of this, but you don't like the idea of actually doing the pimento, again, let us know. We're happy to look into your pantry, look into what your staples are, and make something, a nice cheese dip for you there. Last one, real quick, chicken. Gonna add a little bit of water to this, thin it down. I got some buffalo sauce, and I'm using our mucho queso cheese sauce, again, right from the shelf. This could be done hot too. This is good cold. I prefer it a little bit better warm, but the nice thing is this is something that sends home and heats up really well too. So what we're making here is a buffalo chicken queso. And if I would have had the sauce a little warm, you would see it really nice and velvety, but again, served like that. So buffalo chicken queso works great in a bento box with some chips. But what I like about this one too is the flavors of this is fantastic. And what I love about this one is it's a great rice bowl. So again, got my rice right on top. And again, this can be sent home. This can be microwaved, all that fun stuff, maybe a little celery on the side, but you got a rice bowl. So I got queso, I got rice bowl. I can do whatever I want to do with this. If, let's say I added hamburger and different things like that to this, and then added my broth, I could do a cheeseburger soup. I mean, there's a lot of different things that you can do with this stuff. So really, I'm just really kind of going over a lot of the possibilities. Don't just think Alfredo sauce or cheese sauce or queso. These are like mother sauces. You can do so much with them. Okay, the last thing I want to show you and talk about is just a couple things because it's been highly requested from a lot of districts. So I just wanted to kind of touch a little bit on some of our grab and go type items and just kind of to briefly talk about a few of them. And what I want to talk about first is going to be our cracker cuts. Okay, these are natural cheeses. They come across like deck of cards. Really simple, really easy. If you're familiar with these, they used to come in a 15-pound case. Now they come in a 15-pound case, but they're split. They're two 7.5 pounds packages inside, so they don't go bad. Work really, really well. They're natural cheese slices. Obviously great for bento boxes, protein packs. We've all seen something like this in the store, right? These are more and more popular every day. But a lot of great fun things you can do with this. Grilled cheese sandwiches, for example, or whatever you want to do. Here I have some sliders, have some ham, ovenable container. I'm adding my cheese to this, and I can now send this home just like this. But since it's an ovenable container, and as long as my sides are there, however I want to serve this, this can go home. They can be put in the oven. It can be heated up for a hot ham and cheese or grilled cheese sandwich or anything like that. Had some extra pineapple from my bento boxes. So you just kind of have some fun. There's a Hawaiian slider, really, really simple, fun, and easy to do. If you don't have sliders and you don't want to bring anything in, completely understand. Whole grain hot dog bun works fantastic. Just cut it in half. And now I have a homemade slider roll, really simple and easy. And I can make my fun sandwiches or whatever I want to do with that. Really fun. Pepperoni works really well. Something that's easy to find. This is just kind of a pepperoni. I would serve this with pizza sauce as a dipper if I want. Something really fun and easy. And then the last one that I showed recently and got a lot of feedback on how to do it. So just real quick, we have cheese cubes. You've probably seen them in something like this, like we have the individually wrapped, but these also come in bulk. And I love them in bulk because I can use these in a lot of different recipes now. I can put this in pasta salads. I can put this in different things like that, different just salads. And I saw some of those beautiful shakers you guys are doing. These work great in shakers. So buying in bulk really works well, portion out really nice. tater tots. You cook them off and then put them in your container. And I'm just putting some cheese cubes in here, my meat alternate with cheese cubes. And what's nice is now when this goes in the oven, when this melts, it kind of comes together. It turns into this nice, gloopy, kind of cheesy tater tot type thing. And it's really good, actually. It's really kind of fun. But again, you can put any toppings you want on here. You can do pretty much anything you want, and you can have a lot of fun with that. So again, I apologize. I probably talked too long. I went through the recipes probably a little quick. But again, all I want to say is that if anything of these even came close and you're looking at, hey, that's an interesting thing, but it might not work for me. What could work for me? Reach out. We want to make sure that we help you with that if you'd like. But hopefully that this kind of inspired you. You just have some fun with it. Use these sauces as a mother sauce. Have fun with the mac and cheese. Again, those are some really easy ways to do it. And outside of that, again, thank you very much for having me. And if you have any questions, reach out. We want to make sure we're here to help. So thank you very much.
Yeah, please take a look at our contact info there. Reach out to us. Like Josh said, we are more than willing to help. Hopefully you guys found this educational and useful. If you end up doing anything, we'd love to see pictures of what you do, providing options, and actual schools using the products is very great. Other schools like to hear what schools are using. So
well, you guys just amazing job from Pasonic team to yours. Holly, thank you for queuing this up for us, and certainly Tammy and Chef Josh. Your expertise shines through, and the one thing that you made me feel is excited about recipes. So I know it doesn't take much for me, and people on this call know that, but I hope it excites you to think about. Holly made a great comment. We always talk about how to best use up your commodities. Holly, you're off mute. I don't know if you want to just wrap it up by saying use those commodities.
Well, yes. As you know, there's issues across the board with commodities and the USDA, and lots of conversations around about that. So just trying to see if we can do everything we can to utilize the commodities that we have. So as you can see by a lot of the items he used, every single Land O'Lakes product there is a commodity cheese item. So that's a great use of your commodities. But he had diced chicken, ground beef crumbles, different, we can use pulled chicken kind of across the board. So if you need any information on what's in stock that's commodity, feel free to reach out to me. I'll put my email in the chat box as well. So feel free to call or email if I can be of any help at all. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it. I will say this, we always say it's not nutrition unless they eat it. And we know that today we saw a lot of kid-friendly across the K-5 all the way through middle school, high school with different flavor intensities. I know I was thinking as we sprinkled color on top of the white sauce, little kids might not want those flecks. But what I think is most important here is you're leveraging commodities, which makes this not only a kid-friendly recipe option, but one that is economically, we talked about KPI today, economically responsible for your students. I think maybe fun for you to challenge your staff to think about what's in the pantry, what to put in, how to mix things. Certainly, I think the food presentation and the coming together looked fairly easy. I know the chefs always make things look easier, but it doesn't seem very complex. And I certainly, last but not least, I think many of us, as we hope, and I know we're running a little over, to inspire your end of year to kind of end with the beginning in mind, many of us are up against, even though we're giving our hearts and souls into our program, some criticism over the quality of the food people are finding at home. So I think one of the things I took away from today, which I didn't even think was going to be a lesson that I just will end on, is, families value a brand name like Land O'Lakes. And they also, we don't have marketing dollars, but Land O'Lakes has these lovely reheat labels and stickers and things that we can add to our curbside meals, so that when I'm a mom, which I am, of a second grader, thank you, Kim, when she comes home with her Cindy bag, Cindy, you're on, to see a Land O'Lakes cup of mac and cheese with the sticker on it, that's very similar to what I would do if I were going out to Costco to buy unitized mac and cheese for her to have at home. So I think if you're hearing any grumblings from your families about mystery food in your curbside bags, not only leveraging these awesome recipes, but the resources we have in our industry partners to use their marketing stuff free to you, and just really kind of reinventing some of the turnkey pantry staple commodities to make affordable, kid-friendly, innovative recipes pop. So again, thank you to Land O'Lakes and the entire team, Tammy, Holly. We just appreciate you. And certainly we want to conclude by letting you all know we are always going to be here for you. We hope you have the best week or two, we hope, of rest and relaxation, well-deserved time to kind of unplug. If you are still working, we are here too. We are working with you, and we want to be helpful to kind of end the year strong so we can all come back with some innovation on our menus. Remember to look at NutriSmart Network for our videos. If you like a live demonstration and live videos, I think inspiring your staff, this will be recorded and will be on that landing page. So please feel free to use it. We will definitely have more to come in the new year. Jen McNeil is my partner in crime over there at Lunch Assist. She is off on maternity leave. She had baby Lola and is enjoying time at home. But come the new year, look for some more collaborations between our NutriSmart Network and Lunch Assist. For those of you who know them, if not, stay tuned. It's going to be exciting. We didn't have many questions in the chat. And again, since we're a little over on time, if you haven't had a chance to look at the chat, please do. I think there are some resources in there, and certainly we just want to make sure that you all know you're not in this battle alone in terms of continuing to innovate and keep your menus fresh. And so for you welcoming us and allowing us to partner in that, and also for your time today, we are eternally grateful. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from our team Pasonic to yours. We are a short phone call, text, email, or video chat away. So thank you for your time today, and we hope you all enjoy some rest this break. So thank you all.
Thank you.